everyone. My name is Kayleen. I decided to do kind of an update on my book. So I am promoting my book, Mom Remembers Me, how I use my health and fitness knowledge to stop my mother with mild dementia from forgetting me, and it worked. I don't think anybody should believe that Alzheimer's is a foregone conclusion. So I decided I would make videos of books that I've read since my mother has passed that has taught me even more than I have in my book. So my book is on lulu.com. It's $45. If you live in the San Francisco Bay Area, let me know. You can email me at Kayleen_Buteau@yahoo.com, and I can meet you and sell it to you and talk to you. I would love to have somebody let me know what they thought about it. I have learned, because in the book, one of the things that I teach my readers is that looking at pictures is harder than playing chess. So it's really good for your brain. So I realized that people have bought this, but they don't end up finishing it all the time. And then so you should challenge yourself to see the picture. So I thought the pictures in a graphic memoir would be the best kind of a book, because it's showing the dialogue and everything, and I put it all together within InDesign and use Photoshop as well as Adobe Fresco. So I've done a few videos on Adobe Fresco. Remember, Adobe Fresco, if you have a tablet or an iPad, is free with no advertising, so it's good for artists. So my channel is a little bit about fitness, drawing, journals. But what I wanted to go over today was this book that I finished, Get Better at Anything. So this book, I decided I wanted to read it because I wanted to figure out how to draw from my head without a reference. I can copy very, very well, but I want to be able to, if I think of a chair, I want to be able to draw a chair without even seeing it. The book didn't really help me with a plan for that, but it was a very good book. I highly recommend the book. But what I wanted to put as an update for my book, Mom Remembers Me, is that he mentions in this book that the Lumosity app was sued by the FTC for fraudulent advertising, because they advertise that doing brain puzzles and games really helps your cognitive functioning in other areas. And as all of you are probably aware, they also suggest that jigsaw puzzles and crossword puzzles are very good for your brain as well. My mother hated jigsaw puzzles and crossword puzzles, and so do I. I don't like to do them. So I never really encouraged her to do. I think once I put it out on the kitchen table and she never even looked at it, and I don't like it either. I've done like one, and I glued it together and put it up on my wall. But what I wanted to go over is, he says that there is no study showing that there is some kind of transference of your cognitive ability from doing those. And I always kind of wondered about that, because everybody says that. So it's another example of health and fitness information being spread around, and there is no legitimate reason for it. So that's what I wanted to add for kind of a caveat. The book actually has some good ideas, and I kind of wrote up myself a drawing plan to help. But make sure you realize that I also, as a fitness professional, there is a fitness principle called specificity, and it means do what you want to get better at. So after reading this book, I believe that specificity principle should also be applied for your brain and puzzles. So the book goes over, when you do jigsaw puzzles and crossword puzzles, you only get better at those two. It doesn't have any cross cognitive ability for anything else. So with that said, do what you want to get better at. And I do believe that drawing helps. Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain by Betty Edwards is an excellent old book. That's one of my plans too. What I also point out in the book is the neurological exams that they give people, like drawing a cube. I haven't found any scientific data for that. There's lots of essays by psychologists stating that the pros and cons, but there's no cross reason why that they give some of those tests. Because in Betty Edwards' book, Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain, she points out that people can't draw a cube unless they're taught, but they use that as one of neurological exams. My mother's cube looked okay. So that's all I wanted to share for today. Thanks for listening. And you know the drill. I hope that you might subscribe with all of my 45 subscribers and maybe make a comment. I would really appreciate a comment. Let me know where you're watching this from, or if you have any questions, or if you have some other books about the brain more. And then my next book, I'm going to go over some other information about the heart that I realized. So I actually have also have a previous video about the brain. It was a science comic book, and it mentions in that book that way back they always believed the heart was more important than the brain, but somehow it switched. And I'm beginning to wonder why it got switched. I'm reading Dr. Thomas Cowan's book, Human Heart, Cosmic Heart, that the heart is different. It's not just a pump. So thanks for listening. Again, my name is Kayleen, and I hope that you might think about purchasing my book, Mom Remembers Me, and possibly borrow this book from the library or buy it from your local bookstore. Bye-bye.